Welcome to the Rebel Radio Podcast, the rebelradiopodcast.com for all your Rebel Radio needs and social media links and all that good stuff. Welcome, fellows. This is Mark.
And this is Matt.
This is Long.
I should not
Captain
just say
Tran.
Captain Tran. I should say ladies and gentlemen, because we do have women that listen to us. I said fellas, but got to be politically correct nowadays.
That's not being politically correct.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not being politically correct. Just say ladies and gentlemen either anymore, is it? I mean, you have to include all the 10 other genders. I'm just fucking. I can't even say that with a straight face.
There are 48 genders. Thank you very much.
No. But anyway. Wow. I didn't even mean to get us off the rail there. I was just...
Yeah, usually like me or Long derails us. Long will be like, hello, this is the Rebel Radio Podcast. Like, right, whenever this is Long. This is the Long Show.
I haven't forgiven him for that yet.
Oh, I was pretty slick. He's going to do it again.
He probably will try one day.
I already forgot I did.
And then I think there was one time, there was an episode that you weren't on, Long, and I offered Matt, I was like, hey, why don't you start the episode today? And then Matt just fucking butchers it. So I was like, you're never fucking starting the episode again.
Hi is Matt, Mark, what?
I don't know what he did, but he just butchered it. It's like, yeah, you're not doing it again.
Salutations.
Blue line, guys.
Welcome to...
It was very robotic or awkward, and Matt, it's like Matt didn't know what to do. I remember that. I'm like, yeah, you're not doing it again.
Yeah, like Ricky Bobby. I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Right.
It's a radio show.
But yeah. So how are you, fellas?
Good,
man. It's yeah, dude. It was a beautiful day.
It was okay. Yeah, man. I see. I'm looking across to you guys on the video here, and I felt personally attacked this week with a new movie trailer with Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
I think we all might have felt a little attacked where Woody's going bald, man. In the sense that a toy can go bald because his paint's chipping off, and there's a pretty funny comment there where they're saying you're old, Woody, because you're bald. And I was just like, wow. And then you sent me a meme that said if you were alive when Toy Story 1 came out, you might be feeling the same way now, or going through the same thing. I'm like, yeah, they're not wrong.
They are not wrong.
But I flip that over and I take the positive of it. And I think that's the power of this franchise and where it's been since 1995. That us and a couple of other generations have literally grown up with these characters.
Right.
And it's hard to think of animated characters that were so ingrained in pop culture that aren't based on comic books or superheroes. Does that make sense? That are original characters that were created for a film. There's very popular ones. Don't get me wrong. We have Pinocchio and Peter Pan and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. But Toy Story, man, these characters have just transcended all of that to just where they're everywhere. And to have 5 movies and you feel like, 1 was enough, 2 was enough, 3 was a perfect ending, but then 4 was really good. And now we're getting a 5th one. And why not? I think the trailer was great. It immediately takes you back to that place that it's like a warmth, that you just know you're going to go in for a good film. And great trailer. It's right up there at the top list of the year to see, I think. Certainly, I'm sure it'll deliver.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's like it's almost like watching Clerks 3. It's like a bunch of friends that but like animated.
Slightly different, I think, because Clerks is a little bit more
slightly
adult.
But yeah, opposite ends of
not a good comparison, but okay.
Appropriateness spectrum. But from a from seeing it as a child and a teenager and an adult, and then having your kids come through and watch it, it's like it feels familiar, and fun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. From what the trailer's alluding to, it looks like it's going to be more of Jesse's leading the charge, and Woody and uh, Buzz are kind of like supporting her, I guess, in their little tiff against the the tablet toy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, new technology, creating a MacGuffin for Buzz and Woody and friends, which it plays on what kids do today. I mean, as old toys get thrown out and they go into collector's items, as the guys like us are collecting the old toys, and the kids are playing with tablets and and stuff like that. It's the world we live in. I'm not one to downplay that stuff, because there's a lot of adults and stuff like, oh, these kids on their fucking tablets all the time. It doesn't bother me, honestly. It's just I just think it's a different time. But there are adults that really hate that stuff, like my brother. He can't stand it, but times change.
I agree with your brother. Back in our day, we were playing with toys and playing outside, touching grass.
Well, yeah, I mean, my kids play outside, so I think you have to find a balance in it.
Yeah, because it's like, even whenever I was younger, on one day, me and my cousin could ride our bikes to the park and spend all day outside and ride our bikes back before dark. And then the next day we could spend the whole day playing Diablo on PlayStation. It's like, it was like, a coin flip, and I think it's okay to have both, as long as you're doing both.
And it makes sense for Toy Story to go that route and play on those modern times, And but it looks great, man. I was really curious where they would go with that series, and really looks really good, man. That was so Disney put out a couple trailers this week. We also got our full trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just put this out Super Bowl Sunday, because it would have probably had people talking more. Know. Because
what's $7 million, right?
Well, yeah,
For a spot.
Yeah, well, but I thought it was a great trailer, man. It felt very Star Wars, lots of excitement. The jetpack scene's cool, little cute moments with Grogu. Getting to see live action Zeb Orrelios, it looks awesome. I know he made a cameo in the Mandalorian show, but now he looks like we're getting some full Zeb. It looks like everything you want in a Star Wars film.
Yep. If you're a fan of the show, I'm a fan of the show, right up even to all 3 seasons of it. So,
well, now Favreau is playing up that this isn't necessarily ending to the show. That he's thrown out the possibility of a 4th season still happening once the movie's done.
Wow.
He's thrown that because this is all supposed to lead into a big crossover with Ahsoka and all that eventually, and he's thrown that out there as a they're not ruling out a 4th season. I think it feels like Filoni and people they have a plan for the Mandalorian era, but I think they're also not announcing anything before it's made. I think they're starting to learn their lesson with Star Wars. We've had a lot of stuff announced that didn't get made, and I think that's kind of what Favreau said in the interview I was reading. He kind of said, we don't want to announce anything until we know it's ready, which makes sense.
Right.
Then people get disappointed. Like the James Mangold Star Wars film that I have a feeling will never happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Fair
think
enough.
about it.
The way the Indiana Jones went down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Philip Lord and Christopher Miller were involved in Star Wars with Solo, and they got kicked off. And then you had the Game of Thrones people were going to make Star Wars. Taika Waititi was going to make Star Wars, even though he claims his is not dead, but whatever, it's dead. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Rian Johnson was going to make another Star Wars trilogy. It's dead. I have a feeling this Rey movie is going to die. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The only thing that seems real right now is Mandalorian Grogu and Ahsoka Season 3 and Starfighter, since we know it's actually filmed. Beyond that, we don't know what we're getting. So I think that's fair to say. Those were 2 big trailers this week. I'm trying to think, was there any other thing happened in the news besides we did lose the great Robert Duvall, man, 95 years old. has gone on to his heavenly reward. But what a life and legacy, man! The Godfather, Open Range was one of my favorite recent westerns with Kevin Costner. Lonesome Dove, considered one of the greatest Western television shows of all time. Well, it's a TV miniseries, and Lonesome Dove is fantastic. We recently did Days of Thunder.
Yeah,
that show's only a miniseries, right?
Yeah, it's a miniseries, and then it had a sequel miniseries, and it had a kind of a spin-off show that lasted like one season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Lonesome Dove is great. If you love westerns, you've never seen Lonesome Dove, you really should watch it all the way through. But he's just a great character actor. When Robert Duvall comes on the screen, you always knew you were going to get a performance. He didn't mail it in. He just did a good job. I was looking back and trying to find movies. We really only have covered him in Days of Thunder and Gone in 60 Seconds. I've had Open Range on the list for a long time, and it's never streaming anymore. But I think it finally is streaming now. So maybe sometime in the next couple of months we'll get Open Range covered.
Secondhand Lions is good.
Yeah, I mean, just a good actor, man, and but what a legacy he left. 95 is a hell of a good life. Good, and no long he was not already dead. Inside joke with our text messages is there, but just a good guy. I think Robert Duvall. A safe way to say it. I read someone posted that he was comfort on screen. He felt like that grandpa or uncle you could talk to, and that's how he would come across on screen.
Yeah.
And it showed. And what a really just a good actor, man.
I remember it was a big deal when his movie that he wrote and directed, The Apostle, was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Here.
He got a lot of notice for that, and he loved the westerns. He did many westerns over the years. And so yeah, Robert Duvall, man.
Rest in peace.
It's all the news I can really think of off the top of my head.
Then we got a Netflix announcement. Long called this out, and I was like, I thought this was fake. This would have been even bigger 10 years ago. But Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are going to face off.
Yeah, buddy.
On Netflix.
And anyway.
I didn't realize Gina Carano has such a big booba.
She does.
Yeah.
And like Mark likes to call her.
I like Ronda, her Italian genes.
Yeah. Mark calls Ronda arouse me.
I've never called her that ever.
I think you did one time.
You're such a pig, Mark.
I've never really liked Ronda Rousey. Even when she was in WWE, I found her annoying.
She's a Dragon Ball Z fan, so I do give props to Ronda, but I think I'm pulling for Gina on this one. Gina's the better all around fighter.
Seems bigger, like height and size.
Yeah. And that has always worked. Historically, that has worked against Ronda. Especially with Holly Holmes, and that was even more of a disparity. So we'll see how this goes, and hopefully no one pulls a muscle. Hopefully
it doesn't suck like the Tyson and Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, that one sucked ass.
Every Logan Paul fight on Netflix has sucked, like Mayweather versus Paul, and that sucked, and Tyson versus Paul, and then that last Paul fight. I don't know. Okay, so I'm really proud of myself this week for Download This, because I watched 2 movies. Not what you guys might be expecting, but I enjoyed both of them. I kind of went cinephile mode this week. And I watched 2 Michael Caine movies.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, and one of them was Zulu. And the other one was The Man Who Would Become King. And so the first movie, Zulu, was really good. The basic premise is basically 150 British soldiers are defending their mission against 4,000 Zulu. And but yeah, it's considered one of those classic movies. And that movie's an interesting one where you think a movie like that came out in the late 60s would probably stir up some controversy for oh, look, it's a colonial power, beating up, fighting against, the African tribes, the Zulu tribes. all that stuff. But no, they actually gave some good screen time on the Zulu culture, and they didn't make them sound like, how old classic Indians versus cowboys type of deal, where the Indians were portrayed as evil and savage, And in this one, no, it's kind of an even portrayal for both military forces. And it's a good movie. Michael Caine, very good in that film. It's like one of his first early movie roles. And then the next movie I saw was The Man Who Would Become King. Matt, you ever heard of that movie?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it stars Sean Connery, Michael Caine, and Christopher Plummer. And basically, you might be familiar with Rudyard Kipling, the guy who wrote the Jungle Book.
Okay.
And Ricky Tikki Tavi, I think.
Yeah, Ricky Tikki Tavi, the mongoose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the movie's about Rudyard Kipling. Is basically listening to a story by Michael Caine. His name was Peachy Danvers or whatever. But two British soldiers go to Afghanistan. Basically, Sean Connery and Michael Caine, they go to Afghanistan, and Sean Connery's character basically trains a small army of 20 men, Afghans, and they start clamping down on blood feuds and stuff around the country. And then he ends up at this holy temple, and he gets mistaken as a god and becomes kind of like the king of this little hovel. And but yeah, it ends up with Sean Connery's character dying because he was supposed to wed a local woman, but she bit him in the face because she didn't want to be married to a god. Yeah.
Dang.
So, yeah, when he bled, all of the holy people were like, "Oh, he's not a god. He's not a." So yeah, they executed him. But yeah, it's an interesting movie. I give both movies a 6, probably a 6
solid.
or 7. Yeah,
A solid one.
Yeah, C+, B-. I don't know, depending on your mood. But yeah, I saw those two old classic Michael Caine movies, and man, if I was gay, I'd definitely go for Michael Caine. He's a handsome dude when he was young.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, but no,
it's okay, Long. Matt's professed his love many times in the podcast for Chris Evans and Hugh Jackman. So
Huge Jackman.
Yeah, I go gay for Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Huge Jackman.
Yeah. He can stuff me like a pig.
Stuff me like a pig.
Yeah. You don't sound like Michael Caine, so I don't even try.
Damn it. I'm trying, damn it. Give me an E for effort.
D for don't.
D for don't.
I'm like an Australian. You do British.
Yeah, I know. You sound like an Australian more than a British guy. So.
Yeah, look out. Look out, mate.
Yeah. Okay, stop. Mark, you go first. You go next.
Oh man.
I mean, I really didn't. Even though I had time, I didn't really watch anything this week. But I played a hell of a lot of. I bought the Ultimate Edition of Red Dead Redemption 2, which I played through most of it back on the PS4, and I've been playing Red Dead like every day. I forgot how fucking great that game is. Probably one of the greatest games ever made. I mean, just
I have a copy of it. Haven't played it yet.
You've never played it, really, man. Just the extreme detail in it, the side quest, the little things like sitting in a bar and just getting drunk if you want to. In the game, it's just ridiculous the things you can do in it. It's such a satisfying,
horse testicle shrinkage and the cold.
Sure, but just like you can literally just riding your horse across the land is just satisfying. I mean,
didn't you become famous online for like beating up that women's rights suffrage protester in the game?
No,
that wasn't you. Oh, okay,
no, it wasn't.
That was you.
But
no, that was you, Matt.
But it is just an amazing game. Rockstar. I mean, the first game, Red Dead Redemption, was great, and the second one is even better. Just a huge open world, and it's defined by its storytelling. in the way the game unfolds, and it's one of those games that the little moments are so great in it. You know, just little things you do in it, and what your character does matters in the game because you get different endings based on your honor at the end of the game and stuff like that. It's $20 right now on PlayStation Store. I'm not sure if it's out on sale on Xbox, but it's very much worth the $20 because one of the greatest games I've ever played. I mean, I'd probably have it in my top 3 or 4 games of all time easily. When I say greatest games of all time, I sometimes separate that because you have your modern era, you have your like PS3 and up, and then you have your retro era. I think it is fair to separate it because obviously retro games can't compare to what we have now. But Red Dead 2, man, is such a fantastic game. Man, I feel like that's all I feel like I don't think I watched anything this week. Damn it, Matt, you're texting me. I have my phone on vibrate.
I texted it so that you guys would have a reference to what I was talking about.
I thought I had it on vibrate, but I must have forgot to turn it off. But yeah, man, I still want to watch Prayer of Badlands. The boys wanted to watch it with me. I tried to get them to sit down and watch the other night. They were being like, do whatever they were doing. I'm like, fine, whatever, we won't watch it tonight. And I told them, next time I ask you, I don't watch it. Watch it without you. Just like I did with Thunderbolts. I get tired of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of video games, Matt, I know you're an Xbox guy, but it's kind of video game news I didn't touch on. Freaking the guy who ran Xbox, Phil Spencer, stepped down this week. And now some lady who's like in the Microsoft AI division, who's in charge of that, now is put in charge of Xbox.
Wow.
Okay, well, if that's not the certain death nail in the Xbox gaming division, I don't know what is. It's like, what's this person who's in charge of AI know anything about gaming? You know, it's like Phil Spencer has been doing ever since Xbox One, practically.
Yeah,
in the 360 era. And yeah, he's been doing it for 2 decades at least. And this chick comes in and starts taking over for Xbox Games Division. It's like, okay, well, we'll see, but whatever.
Good luck.
Yeah. Trade in your Xbox, dude, and jump the PlayStation. No, buy your own PlayStation.
May have to jump on the PlayStation wagon, man.
Right.
Because Xbox is only going to come out with one more console, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or buy a PC that'll last you like years and years, and then and also all the great selection of porn games on there as well. No, I'm joking. On Steam.
Get yourself a Steam Deck.
Imagine playing that in the living room. Like, no.
Whoa,
hey, kids,
you're early.
Yeah. No.
Knock next time.
All right, man. What did you watch this week?
So I was feeling we had just done a Bond film not too long ago, and part of me was feeling Bond, the ultimate, male fantasy, right? And I went ahead and
Craig, I don't want trauma Bond. Fuck that.
Yeah, I did, and this was the ultimate trauma Bond. It was No Time to Die. Which was, of course, the last James Bond film that we've ever gotten. And of course, in the beginning of the film, he is seeking out closure from Vesper. And of course, it's all a trap. And, the whole daughter of Spectre, and then his daughter, and then Rami Malek has the, secret poison farm thing. And then, of course, Voldemort is M, which I like his character. And I like how Bond is like fragile. He's like fractured. He can't even fucking shoot because he fell off a train. So a very vulnerable, down to earth, aging Bond. Kind of like it,
Excuse me.
Bless you. Makes me feel more aligned whenever I feel like I can do some shit, and then I pull a calf muscle because I didn't stretch. And I'm like, damn, I didn't used to have to stretch.
To an extent, that's my biggest problem with No Time to Die.
Yeah, the Charlie horse. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, things happen when you get older, man.
But my biggest problem with No Time to Die is that it's like, that's not Bond. Bond is the secret agent that doesn't die. He's a superhero. And then and he shouldn't be vulnerable. You go to see Bond to escape. and to enjoy an adventure. And to see Bond broken down like that, that's what I hated about it. Like I didn't hate the movie, but like I thought the movie was okay. But just there was just the character Bond I didn't like in it.
Yeah, I recall when that film came out, you were more positive on it at that time. So I guess your view on it kind of changed since
It's
then.
changed a little bit. Like when I walked out of the theater, I was like, okay, but then I started realizing like that's not Bond. Because you go back and watch Casino Royale where he's extremely like confident and everything. And even in Skyfall he has to confront his past and his parents and everything, but he's still
Had
Bond.
that
He's gonna take care of his mission. That's why Skyfall is one of the best Bond films ever made.
Yeah.
You know,
in the opening scene, that train scene, when he jumped on the train, he straightened up his tie like it was nothing, you know. So,
and then all of a sudden, in No Time to Die, he's moping around. Like he's had so many women, you know. And then to go moping back and looking for closure of Vespa, like I started thinking about, like why would he do that? He's already moved past that, you know.
Because Ava Green, dude, it's not easy losing Ava Green. Okay?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny that I remember like you guys were like kind of like, Long, have you seen No Time to Die? It's like, no, I haven't seen it. You know, I don't really have a desire to see it at that time either, because I saw the trailer. It's like, man, he looks miserable. So I didn't.
But now it's backfired on the Broccoli production teams. They're trying to figure out how to reboot Bond. It's like, well, we fucking killed him. What do we do? You know, and I think that's what's taking them so long to make another one.
Maybe so.
You know?
All for the better, anyways. They're going through some legal issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to have a break, but I think it's time now. I think, you know, now that Ethan Hunt seems to be done as far as Mission Impossible, you know, I'm sure Paramount will make another one in some form. I think it's superhero or spy movies are good to be in theaters. So I think it's time. You know, I think they need to strike now while there's no Mission Impossibles in theaters.
Yeah.
Fair point.
So you saw No Time to Die and anything else?
Yeah. So I watched I guess it's a rom-com. So it's Steve Carell, Kevin Bacon, and I can't remember her name. Not Juliette Lewis. I forget her name. She was in. No, it's Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh, that movie sucked.
Well, so I like Ryan.
I had to
Gosling
watch that when I was still married. What a crap!
I like
shitty movie.
Date Night. Date Night was so good.
Ryan Gosling
and Stephen Carell
molds Stephen Carell into a tomcat, and and then he goes back and he's like,
"You should have watched Solo, mate.
Solo, mate.
You should have watched Zillow.
Zolo. You should have watched
Free on
Zulu. YouTube. But yeah, you've got Kevin Bacon, who is the famous David Lindhagen, and Emma Stone is in it. Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling. I like I like their little bit where he thinks he's just gonna, she's just gonna be another girl, and then they end up hitting it off, and that's actually Steve Carell's daughter in the movie, and he mentored Steve Carell to turn Steve Carell into this ladies' man, and then they end up meeting because she takes him home to meet her parents. And
knock your fucking man card if you keep going on about this movie.
I
don't need the whole fucking plot. I saw it. I remember it sucked.
You've knocked his man card so many times over the years.
I mean, he's pretty much doesn't have a man card left anymore after all these years.
All right, I'm gonna watch Gladiator next week and Terminator 2 and Die Hard and make up for this. Okay.
No, man. Just watch one Roman Gladiator movie and you'll
John Wick.
I'll watch John. Actually, my John Wick suit came in this week and I rocked it the other day. It was cool.
And I already told you what you look like in that.
Yep, a hitman.
No, like a cheap cholo.
I do kind of look like that. Dude.
No, you look like
you don't look like John Wick at all.
No, I don't. I do not.
No one said anything when he looked like.
No, when I say in the text message, I said you look like the extra in the background of a gangster movie that gets shot. Nobody knows his name. He's just this bald dude.
Oh,
that's funny. Yeah. You guys are savage.
He still looks
watch
like
a John Woo film. There's lots of those kind of extras in the background.
Oh yeah.
But Matt, at least I gave you a character, Mr. Worldwide. Come on,
that's right, Mr. Worldwide.
That's not a background. Yeah.
And besides, that's why we have Matt on the podcast, because we have to have someone to make fun of.
That's right. Someone's got to be the comic relief.
My life is a comic relief.
You
Okay,
like that?
moving on. That got a little
Yeah,
dark.
there we go. Went to a dark place. Pay no
All
attention.
right. Are we ready for the feature film?
Yes,
We are.
sir.
Harold the Duck.
All right.
Took one of my birthday choice movies, so I'll have to think harder next year.
Dang.
No.
Well, I would imagine all the Star Trek movies are usually your birthday list long.
Yeah.
Being the big Trek fan that you are.
Even Star Trek 5. Yeah.
So Star Trek First Contact came out in 1996. So this is a anniversary year for it. 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was another anniversary year when it came out. 30 years of Star Trek, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the 30th anniversary film, and
Of the franchise at that time, yeah.
And I don't know, man. I threw this movie on the list because it was an anniversary movie, and arguably it's the best of the four Next Generation movies. I think it is the best, I believe, out of all four. And I really like this one, and I'll get into it more in a minute because of it. I always find the lore of franchises interesting, and this really opens up the lore of the franchise, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But it is Star Trek First Contact, and since Long is our resident Trekkie, Long, give us a summary of this film. So I was like, fuck, man, he threw me on the spot.
Yeah, Captain Picard. We, with his intimate inside knowledge of the Borg, Starfleet is fending itself off with a Borg invasion again, and basically, they end up going back in time, and in order to fix the Star Trek future or present, which Earth turned into a population full of Borgs, and basically, it's a time travel movie as well as a lore movie that talks about how Starfleet or the Federation got started and how Earth became what it was in the Star Trek universe. And
Through the development of warp speed.
Yeah, Picard and crew versus the Borg and the Borg Queen, and they end up prevailing and fixing the timeline at the end of the day. Matt, I'm kind of curious. I don't think you were old enough or cared enough when Star Trek TNG was in its heyday.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably maybe a kid at that time, because Star Trek Generation started in 1988 through 1994. So how old were you around 94, 95?
So I was in 94, I was 8.
Okay. Yeah. So
not very vested.
Right.
I would see Next Generation come on.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is that Star Trek show.
Yeah.
Let me find something else. And I'd go find like anime or Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers.
So for you, Matt, this is like, for me and Mark, we grew up in the golden era of sci-fi television.
Yeah.
And the golden era of sci-fi television was like it was peak. Like every Wednesday, it would be Babylon 5 at 7, and then Star Trek Deep Space Nine at 8. And then Star Trek would come on Saturdays on Channel 39 in the evening, a new episode. And then we would watch reruns between that time whenever they showed it in the evenings. So, yeah, it was like just a sci-fi nerd's peak era, you know.
Yeah,
Mark, you remember that time, right?
Oh yeah, and then only that, you had that was the Sci-Fi Network when it was heyday, not what it is now. I mean, they were old episodes of Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man and Battlestar Galactica, all those old sci-fi channels. So definitely a sci-fi heyday.
X-Files debuted during the
X-Files.
Yeah, I remember.
Stargate SG-1 sometime around this time. Well, maybe not. No, because the movie was 95, so it might be more late 90s. But yeah.
Oh, and Matt, you missed the immaculate 2 seasons of Briscoe County Jr. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., starring Bruce Campbell, his own Western TV show that was so quirky as a Western. It's like a Western / comedy / adventure with elements of science fiction or supernatural storytelling. And it was like, I was disappointed when they canceled it because, It was so weird as a Western. But man, Bruce Campbell, man, he had his own TV show. If you ever had a chance, dude, just look up a YouTube episode on the
Yeah, because it's not available streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I remember whenever he did Jack of All Trades, and I did watch that. It's more of a swashbuckling film.
Is that a USA Network show?
Series, yeah. And then Burn Notice. I watched him in Burn Notice, which he was
he in
older.
Burn Notice? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so for you, I was wanting to ask you, Matt, not knowing really the lore or the Borg and TNG stuff, what was your... Did you enjoy it? What was your, overall?
Yeah.
Were you lost or?
No. Well, so obviously, you don't know the species. Obviously, I had to dig deep, and kind of go back and look and see, how Picard was captured by the Borg, and he had to have everything taken off of him and restored, which made him vulnerable. So I did try and look into the lore some without, going back and watching hours and hours of TV shows. But this film, obviously, fresh off the hype of cyborgs, being RoboCop, Terminator, Cyborg with, JCVD, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Nobody remembers that movie, though.
Everyone remembers that movie, Mark.
No.
But I like the space battle at the beginning with the sphere, and then going back in time, and then from Cromwell from Babe, who originally I guess Tom Hanks was going to play that character, but it ended up going to Cromwell off of his fresh film Babe, where he says, "Good day, pig. Good pig."
Damn.
They're like, we want that guy.
I like Cromwell. James Cromwell's a solid actor.
He is.
But man, if Tom Hanks was Cochran, that would have been awesome.
It feels like one of the more action-packed Star Trek movies that I found. And I like the Borg on the ship. They're very calculated. They're scary. For 96, I was like, man, these guys are, the makeup and the suits are pretty good. They got a budget similar to the Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
So they were able to do pretty good with the costumes and the makeup and the effects. I like whenever he runs in with the veteran lady who is also from the past.
Woodard. Yeah.
Yes. And it's the will they, won't they kind of thing. You've got a little bit of romance there, maybe, and then they're navigating through the Borg who are not paying attention to them. I don't know what that's about. I probably missed something there.
You know why it's so scary to be a Borg, right? It's like
you're being controlled, right? I mean, you're like
it's more than that. It's like, think of you yourself all your whole life, right?
Yeah.
And everything that makes you is no longer like you don't become an individual anymore. You become part of the hive mind.
Yeah.
That's what's so scary about being a Borg, and your conscience at the same time. So your conscience is no longer your own, and you're part of this collective. And that's why the Borg Queen is the Borg Queen, and that's why they call it the Borg Collective.
Yeah.
And then half your body becomes cybernetic.
Yeah. They start putting all that crap in you.
Yeah.
And I like how he used the holographic book to distract them.
Yeah.
And there's another lady that
the holodeck.
The holodeck.
Yeah.
And then he gets a friggin' Tommy gun, and Picard looks like fucking Scarface. And I'm like, this is awesome, dude. Whoa! How did I not see this movie before?
Shakespearean
Picard's
actor with a Tommy gun.
Oh no, wait, that's the wrong movie. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
But
I was curious because you didn't grow up with TNG, so I was wondering, what if you enjoyed it at all coming in fresh, basically.
I did. I watched it basically as a non-Trek fan, a very leisure Trek fan, I guess, at best. And then the stuff with Data fucking, getting it on with the Borg Queen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Data, you bastard, dude. What the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
She, and then I'm like, no, she's not hot. Is she hot? Am I? No.
Yeah.
No, dude, she's got stuff coming out of her.
A new fetish discovered, or something.
Yeah.
Matt discovers a new fetish.
I was like, she's like half machine. She looks weird, bro.
Yeah. But there's a thing about that where, sorry if I'm interrupting you.
No, you're not.
But I wanted to also with Data, with him in the TV show, he had zero emotions because he was in the pursuit of being more human. He wants to be what it's like to be human, and then it's in this movie where that's the closest, definitely the closest he's ever become human. He has like skin grafted onto his cybernetic neural network or whatever, and he felt what it's like to have physical touch, and stuff like that. Fear.
Reactivated his emotional chip.
Yeah. Brent Spiner's so good as Data. Data is definitely the next generation's Spock. Basically.
Yes. Yeah. Especially that's what I gathered, because he's just beating the shit out of the Borg.
Yeah.
And until they're able to overwhelm him and grab him by the ankles, and then strap him in that in that Clockwork Orange chair, trying to mess with him.
I can recommend you have access to Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I can recommend you 3 Borg episodes that will help illustrate the lore better for you. Like their first appearance is 1, and then Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2.
Yes, which is the thing with Picard getting captured, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then basically you watch First Contact after that. But yeah, that's cool.
I would recommend the 2-parter where Data as the Borg on the planet with lore.
Yeah. Data's
can't think of the name of the episodes.
Data's brother is named Lore, by the way,
and he's using the Borg, and you're introduced to Hugh Borg, which is like a humanized version of the Borg, and it just gives you some background to Data and his character.
They did his character dirty in Picard season 1, by the way.
Dang.
And but yeah, man, I like this for first off, it was one of the first Star Trek movies, and if I remember right, they wanted to make it a little bit. They tried to be a little edgier. That's why the stuff with the Borg, and she makes the comment, "Was it good for you?" Which is kind of a cheesy one-liner, but they were attempting at, because they felt that Star Trek fans were growing up. That wasn't just kids and teenagers watching this anymore. So they tried to be a little more adult with it. It works. It's fine. But I really like it because for the background lore about the First Contact, which is obviously the Vulcans are First Contact, which makes perfectly sense in Star Trek lore. I just really enjoyed how it opened up. I also enjoyed the simplicity of the time travel. It's one of those movies where they go back in time and it just happens. There's no we can't run into our old selves or explain all this stuff. Time travel doesn't exist. People just do it very simply, like this movie does. We talked a little bit of that when we did Time Cop a few weeks ago. And I like the simple approach Star Trek takes with it. And this is directed by Jonathan Frakes, who also plays Number One, of course. And I think his direction is really good. I think it has some really good special effects for 1996. Immediately, being a Star Trek fan, that opening sequence, you're introduced to the Sphere Borg ship, which is immediately different. The Borg are more grotesque, cybernetic looking than are in TV shows, so the budgets are obviously higher. They just look more evil and badass, in a lot of ways. And the Borg Queen is obviously menacing. So there's a lot to really enjoy about this as far as opening up the world of Star Trek. And like you said, it does have a lot of action in it. It's pretty action packed. James Carmel's great in his role, playing an old drunkard who really is just doing it for the money, but comes around and realizes the importance of what his work is. And there's also a lot of comfort in this, as like Long said, me and him grew up watching this, and everyone's very comfortable with the role. It's like watching old friends on screen in this movie, and I think that the movie comes across that very well. And again, it's accessible for someone who doesn't know the Star Trek lore. You can watch this, and they give you simple explanations of what happened to Picard as far as becoming Locutus, and it's easy to pick up on the story. And I think they do a really good job with that, which I think is important when you do spin-off movies. I think we mentioned in pre-show the other day, I would love to do the X-Files movie on the show, but if you don't have the background of that movie, it's difficult to really appreciate it. I love the X-Files movie because I have the background of the show, but if you don't, it's a difficult movie to cover on the podcast. But Star Trek does such a good job of not expecting you to understand several hundred episodes of this show, and it puts you into this world and just tell a good story with it and make a really great film. Because I think First Contact is a top 3 Star Trek film. Is that fair to say? I mean, I think it's really good.
For you, maybe. Not for me. Yeah.
Really?
Surprisingly, yeah. rewatching First Contact. It's just, I don't know, maybe it just doesn't hold up for me like it used to when it first came out. But
Well, what would be your top three?
Wrath of Khan easily is my number one.
Yeah, that's number one.
6, and then the reboot, and then First Contact would be 4 for me.
See, I think I know this is Trek fans probably would hate, but I think Abrams' Trek is one for me. I just really love the reboot. That's the Star Trek film I always wanted, just action packed, great story. And then I think I think Wrath of Khan's 2, then First Contact's 3 for me. I really like First Contact a lot.
Yeah.
And then I enjoy Search
movie.
for Spock. I know Search for Spock gets hate, but I actually really like Search for Spock.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley's in Search for Spock.
And people love Voyage Home. I think Voyage Home is okay. I think it's kind of overrated.
I like Voyage Home because it didn't really involve wasn't action based.
Right. It's different.
It's different.
That was the first Star Trek film I saw.
I don't dislike it. I just don't think it's I just don't rank it as high as some people do.
It's a great movie in its own way. But it was. No one talks about the motion picture, the first Star Trek movie.
Oh, it's such a drag.
It is a drag. And basically, with First Contact, it all went downhill from there because the other two Next Generation films.
Well, Nemesis is terrible.
It's the last canon. This is the last canon Star Trek film, right?
But they had Insurrection.
No, Insurrection came out after this.
Which Nemesis
Nemesis
was canon until they retconned it. They basically act like it don't exist with the Picard TV show. It's fair to say. I mean, maybe not in so many words, but basically they act like Nemesis doesn't exist with Picard.
Nemesis was better than Next Direction. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Nemesis.
Tom Hardy's great. Tom Hardy's a good villain for Nemesis.
Yeah. Okay, here's a moment, Matt, that will make you cringe without context.
Uh-oh.
So there's the insurrection's about the Picard crew protecting this group of aliens or colonists. I forget which
it's was. Like a colony on a planet,
colony, and they basically this planet's the eternal youth, right? So three members of the crew are walking, right, trying to escort this group of colonists to safety, and Beverly Crusher and Deanna Troi, they were like, "Hey, my boobs are perkier now." It's like, "Yeah, oh really?" And then like Worf is like has pimples. It's like Worf, do you have pimples? It's like I do not have pimples, or whatever. And it was such a cringe movie. And then I was like, that's how bad it was for me personally. I'd rather watch Star Trek Final Frontier than Insurrection. I think it's hated on by too many people. Insurrection was mediocre, but it was not good. Nemesis was definitely a step up, though.
Yeah. So. Nemesis has a lot of action in it.
Yeah, a lot of action, a lot of space battles, and really good data moments.
Obviously, Abrams' Trek has the most action of any of them because it's more definitely more modernized. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
But I think First Contact does a good job. To me, when we got these movies, Generations felt like had high expectations for Captain Kirk and Captain Picard together, and it just felt like it was missing something. It just felt like a very long TV episode. First Contact to me was the first Next Generation film that felt like a movie. It didn't feel just like an extended TV show. And then they took a step backwards. Insurrection felt like a TV episode again. Yeah. But the Nemesis felt like a movie.
Yeah.
And those were the only 4 Next Generation films we got. And then until Abrams rebooted the series. So.
Yeah. Mark, did you ever watch Picard season 3?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. Yeah.
I saw season 1, did not watch season 2 because I heard it sucked. Then I watched season 3.
Yeah. Based on my recommendation, right? Or were you watching it when it aired?
I was going to watch it anyway because I had heard about the crew coming back together and all that.
Yeah.
So I liked the first season too, but I heard a lot of the story threads for the first season were just kind of like forgotten about in season 2. It was just really bad. So I didn't watch it. I just skipped season 2 and went straight to 3.
Yeah.
And I can tell you what, I felt like I didn't miss anything.
No, that's how good season 3 was.
I mean, season 3 is very good science fiction. Like I'd highly recommend watching it, Matt, if you get a chance. Season 3 of Picard. It's just you know enough about the Star Trek lore that you'd be able to watch it and enjoy season 3 of that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, it gives you moments in it that we should have gotten in The Force Awakens. Let's just say that we should have. When you're bringing back these old timers together, there's moments there that should have been had, and Picard delivers on that on every level. So,
nice.
But yeah. And,
maybe I will watch Picard.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Star Trek First Contact, very good film. I like it. I think it's really well made. I give it a pretty solid A-. I think it's really good. Definitely the best of the Next Generation films.
Make it so.
Oh, how would you score it, man?
Man, I don't. I was really surprised by how much I liked it, and I really want to give it an A. I know it's not like it. It wouldn't be.
Give it an A. It's
your rating. What is it?
I'd have to give it an A because it's like I like the action in this film more so than any other Trek film that I've seen of the, pre-Abrams, and I know Abrams, it's like everything evolves, right? So I can't really grade a 96 film the same way I can a 2010 film, so it's for me, it's like just, the Tommy gun, the cyborgs, and all that. It's like, I was like, wow, this is cool, man.
Yeah, I like the holodeck scene too.
Yeah.
There's no wrong ratings here unless it's long telling me Monster Squad's only a scene. Then that's wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I'm depending on my moods, either B+ or A- for me on Star Trek First Contact. But I love the movie still, but I think, Matt, you will definitely enjoy Star Trek Nemesis. So if you get a chance, let us
get
know.
A young Tom Hardy performance in it.
Oh yeah, Tom Hardy's in it.
Okay.
That's his first movie role. So, and you'll be surprised what role he's playing in it too. So I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah,
I'll check it out. Yeah. Nemesis.
Yeah, Star Trek Nemesis.
All right. For next week, we move into March, and usually we do a theme month in March, but not this year. We're going to do a theme month in April. So March is going to be some regular films, and do a film that, man, I've recently kind of discovered that this has a pretty large cult following that I wasn't sure about. I've only seen parts of this movie. I've actually never watched all the way through, but I'm familiar enough with it to know what it is. And it stars the late great Robin Williams. That is Hook, the adult story of Peter Pan. And I recently have just discovered that the generation that grew up with this movie has very much turned this into a cult classic. They're buying the toys. They're looking for old merchandise from it. It does very well in streaming charts. It's available on Paramount, or it's on Amazon Prime right now. And it's crazy. I didn't know that. I was watching some YouTube video that was talking about this. Like, wow, Hook has this kind of following. And it's your generation, Matt, that's doing it. Every generation has their cult classics, and it feels like your generation is turning this into one of those for your generation.
This is true.
And that's okay. I mean, it's directed by Steven Spielberg. So, I mean, it's obviously doing something right if it's directed by Spielberg, in which we'll talk about it next week on the show, though, man. So it's on Amazon Prime. Give it a watch and get ready to talk about it. But until then, the RebelRadioPodcast.com, as I said earlier in the show, for all your Rebel Radio needs. Until next week, this has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
This is long, and live long and prosper.
Until next time, remember, as always, just go there and do it.
And do it.
Applause.